Hello, welcome back. How is everybody? Hope you're all really happy and well, having a good summer. Well, today we're going to be tackling a topic that's sometimes considered a little bit taboo in the world of well-being. We're going to be talking about bladder strength, incontinence, pelvic issues, all of those things that are so common for so many women, particularly after childbirth, any age of stage in life, as we get older, perimenopausal, menopause, all of that. So if that's something that relates to you, please pop a little heart in the comments if you're going to be interested in this. Obviously, if you've got questions as well, pop them below and we will do our very best to answer them. I'm going to be joined by a fab female founder, peony, from a great brand called Jude, which I've just discovered. And she's got a lot of information and personal experience on this subject. So we are going to be having an in-depth conversation. Nice to see you all. Wow, you're in Greece. Very nice. Oh, Lisa's in rainy Hull. Oh, so the heat's gone out of the UK, has it? Well, it's still here. It's absolutely scorchio here in Italy. Now, I've had a little bit of a phone failure, so I've got my lovely son-in-law, Harry, who's here, who is going to try and get Facebook up on his phone. So hopefully we will be able to slot in our Facebook friends in a moment, but if not, then we can upload this always to Facebook and YouTube later on. Hi, Self-Care Doctor. Hello from London. Oh, you're Sienna in Tuscany. Hi, Joe. So I'm not far from you. I'm in Umbria. So Umbria is just below Tuscany. So you've got the kind of Tuscan hills and the beautiful rolling countryside, and then you get a little bit more rural. I'd say that Umbria is a bit more rugged. It's not quite as smart as Tuscany. Tuscany is kind of the smart set. Okay, lots of chat here about prolapse surgery, and there's a lot to chat about. So let me see if we can get Peony Lee with us, and she is going to be talking about her brand. We do have a Liz Loves, by the way, which is great news. Let me just check on that. 15% on all her products. So Liz Loves, use your code. And they are on Instagram, they're called Meet Jude. That's how you spell Jude, Jude. That hasn't come out in reverse. And their website is wearejude.com. Okay, so let's see if Peony is in the house. Meet Jude, yes. Hopefully the connection will last for us all across the airwaves.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, very nice to see you in, well, almost real life. We're live anyway.
You as well. I'm so excited to be on here today to talk about let's break some taboos together.
Let's really smash some taboos. And I think the first thing that I have to say looking at you is you look way too young to have had any incontinence issues. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey and why you got involved in all of this?
Definitely. It's a very common question asked by a lot of people. So actually my family has been in this space for 30 years. So they design products for taboo subjects like periods, menopause, incontinence, but they also deliver care for a lot of underserved groups. From where I grew up in Hong Kong. So oddly, I grew up in a family where these kind of words are just day-to-day language to me. And so there's really nothing to be embarrassed about. And having that as a background just make it more important for me to want to address this issue.
And you've got a kind of a background in brand marketing and, working as an entrepreneur, which is very brave, because I'm always in awe of people that go out and, occupy this space. Why Jude, and what makes this different? Now, I know a lot of people who are on Instagram, they may have already seen the ads. Actually, that's in fact, funny enough, how I became first aware of you. Because you have a supplement, you've got a kind of a multi-pronged brand. This is a really interesting supplement because this is a supplement designed to strengthen the bladder.
Yeah.
And you're very clear in your messaging that if you need to get up in the night to go for a wee, your tests have showed that this supplement means that you don't need to do this, or at least you don't need to do this so often. So tell me a little bit about the supplement and how it works and how you've tested it.
Definitely, definitely. So we've researched with our panel of medical advisors, people from professors from Harvard, and self-care doctor being in the chat as well. Looked at a lot of formulation that has human clinical trials, and we made sure these formulations are clinically proven. They're made up of two active ingredients, which are all natural: pumpkin seed extract and soy jam extract, and they're clinically proven to reduce daily leaks by 79%. And the likelihood of wake up at night to go to the loo by 39% of a reduction. And now we have, just with 7 months of launching our products, we serve 7,000 bladders. Lots and lots of people.
7,000 bladders. That is great. I love that. What a great way to express it.
I know. We have about 1,000 community members in our Facebook group called Jude and Friends, and they all share their bladder stories and people experiencing, waking up 7 to 10 times a night for 20 years. And Jude supplements really helped them. So if you want to talk to real women about their journey with our supplements, the Jude and Friends community is just a really great community to be part of.
So pumpkin seeds. Now, I know a little bit about pumpkin seeds because I have them in my yogurt every day. I think they're a fantastic ingredient. And the research that I've seen has actually been more related to men and prostate care. So the fact that pumpkin seed extract can have a beneficial impact on women's bladders, not that far apart from a prostate in terms of location within the body. Isn't that fascinating? What do they think is inside the pumpkin seed that's giving it this activity?
Sure. So what the pumpkin seed does for men and women is actually enabling less testosterone to turn into DHT. So testosterone naturally occurs in men and women, but as we age, the concentration of this hormone drops. What testosterone does to men and women is actually build up our muscle and allow the muscle to have more control. So that means our pelvic floor actually will naturally restore our strength of our pelvic floor from the testosterone that we have in our body. So that's the same with men as well. And the estrogen is a very nice combination for easing the pressure in your bladder. So it's a two direct and indirect effect that supports an overactive bladder and a pelvic floor strength.
How very fascinating. And I know that obviously a lot of my community here are replacing estrogen, either during perimenopause or menopause, or using vaginal estrogen or an estrogen cream or gel. If you're doing that, is it safe to use this alongside? Can this be an extra benefit?
Sure. So I think self-care doctor will tell you more in the comment section as well. But we haven't really seen any interaction between HRT or vaginal estrogen with this very natural soy estrogen in our supplement. But of course, we always advise people to ask their doctors who have prescribed them the medication before taking any supplements.
Yeah. Very, very interesting that the figure that really struck me there that you talked about was 79%. Is that right? Reduction in leaks during the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a phenomenal figure. And that's a clinical study on humans. It's not,
on
humans. Kind of in brackets, in mice,
No.
which is so many of these studies and trials that you
Exactly.
see. You go, okay, that's great. Great that it works in mice. I'm really happy for them. But actually, I'd quite like to see some human studies.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people also look at or treat leaks synonymous to bladder issues. And actually bladder issues comes in so many forms. The first one could be just a frequent need to go. Perhaps you can control it, but you just need to go to the toilet a lot. So our supplement helps with that, relieving that instant urge, making you control better and not needing to always look for where's the toilet in my toilet app, etc. It helps you with night, but it also just strengthens your pelvic floor control, which means it actually helps after birth down to menopause, post-menopause. So yeah, it's just a really wonderful supplement. I think everyone should look at it as a preventative and a holistic angle to care for your bladder, like an organ that helps us a lot, but we never really treat it properly and seriously until it malfunctions.
Absolutely. You're just not aware of it really, are you, until you know, suddenly, I don't know, you're bouncing on that trampoline, or you're, you
Yes.
know, you laugh or you cough or you sneeze. You know, particularly, I remember, you know, having had 5 children, delivered them all naturally, you know, really, you know, my
Wow.
midwives and everybody, you know, drilling it into me. You must
Wow.
do your pelvic floor, you must. And, you know, I'm quite fortunate. I think I have got, you know, quite a strong pelvic floor, and I do, you know, use estrogen. But yeah, it's something that it's so common. And this whole idea of, I remember doing a podcast with, I think it was Dr. Rebecca Lewis, talking about urge incontinence, when, you know, you just suddenly, you absolutely, whether it's through a bladder weakness, you know, or a change in hormones or whatever it is, or a weakness within the pelvic floor. Now, my lovely son-in-law, Harry, has just delivered my phone back. Harry, sweetheart, it's actually locked itself. So I don't think I can do it without you coming to unlock it. So I think what we'll do is we'll have to rely on uploading this to Instagram straight after. So
Mm-hmm.
this was obviously only one part of the
Yes.
Jude range,
Mm-hmm.
because I've also got here, I mean, I have to say, I got sent a box, a big box, before I left for
Yeah.
Italy. And I was really impressed with, you know, all the lovely cardboard packaging and the branding, and just the way it was put together. I thought it was really, really well considered. So
Thank you.
congratulations on that. And this actually is also a really interesting thing. So you have pads, you have like pant liners, and
Yeah.
also, I think, are these slightly bigger pads?
These are bigger pads than the liners.
Okay, and it says because they're bamboo, they're ultra thin, super soft, and biodegradable. And it says on the box here they're 4 times comfier,
Yeah.
6 times drier. So if you're somebody who is actually having to use pads, and 2 times thinner. So I'm going to take one out here and see. So is this unusual then, to be using a bamboo? I mean, they do feel really soft. I feel like it's something I could kind of, you know, use to take my makeup off with.
You could try. You could definitely try.
But they are, I mean, massively, massively thin.
Yeah, they're very
Um,
thin.
and is the design of this and the material, is that special? I mean, I don't know very much about incontinence pads and you know, pant liners. You've also got the smaller ones here, the pant liners. Talk us through what makes these different.
Yeah. So I kind of, in the beginning of the chat, talked about my family designs a lot of products. So I actually designed it with my mother, and my mother
Nice.
also experienced incontinence as well. So and alongside with our community of women. So when I talk about 4 times comfier and 6.4 times drier, is actually a statistics that our community told us. How do we compare with other brands that they're using? So the materials that we use, the first layer is actually a corn layer that is really, really soft. What we've heard from a lot of women is that, you know, the pad, you know, is really making my thighs feel really uncomfortable. I have allergic
Yeah.
reaction. We then have this leak-proof bamboo layer that's also super soft. So the sort of chafing issue, we address that, and we resolve that. But also a lot of people say it feels just like a surfboard in my underwear. The other diapers are so
No.
thick, and I just want, you know, a pad that is.
Oh my goodness.
I know these are
Yeah.
the comments that we get from, you know, women using other brands that is available in the supermarket or in a local pharmacy.
Yeah.
So we're just thinking, how do we return, you know, women feeling beautiful, feeling confident, feeling sexy, but still caring for, you know, this issue in an appropriate way.
Yeah.
A lot of women actually use panty liners, which is for period, for incontinence. But I think it's so important to point out period liners actually don't have the active ingredients inside to be dry, to be absorbent. So what then you end up at the end of the day is a very wet panty liner, and it's not good for your UTI. It's not good for your skin. It's not good for just your overall kind of health. So we really advocate people to look at the products that they buy and, you know, find something that really suits them.
That's a really, really good point. And I think, you know, for so many women, recurrent UTIs is such an issue. And obviously then you can get into, areas of discharge and all of that. And there's all sorts of reasons, during your menstrual cycle when, you might have more discharge than at other times, and you might actually need something that's just a little bit more comfortable than, shoving a wodge of loo roll in your pants, or using something that is, very plasticky and, as you say, uncomfortable. I mean, I'm actually genuinely impressed by how soft these are.
They are very soft, and you would not feel that you're wearing a liner or a pad. But this liner also is just so much more absorbent than any other liner. So you can just feel secure and safe. When you're going to do your yoga, you wouldn't be worried about whether your leggings are showing the shape of a pad. So these are the kind of nuances when we talk to women about like what their fears are. And I don't think a lot of bigger corporates, who do these products on the shelves actually listen to women. And so we set up this community so that on a daily basis we hear what their concerns are, we hear what they want to see in their products that they're using every day.
I think that's really fascinating that the heritage of your family is within this space. So you've been able to fast track into all that data and all that knowledge and experience, and I come from a brand founder background myself, and it's a steep learning curve to get into the logistics of tool making and machinery and packaging, and so you've been able to address a really sensitive female topic that is so common that we just don't talk about at all. I mean, maybe when you've had a glass of wine with your girlfriends, you can kind of joke about it. It's a kind of a jokey thing. But when you're dealing with it on a day-to-day basis, the practicality of it, of always having to look, whenever you're out, where's the loo? What am I wearing? Am I wearing something that I'm going to be embarrassed by later because I can't control what's happening to my body? Maybe, as you say, post-childbirth, hormonal changes, surgery. There are so many reasons why this can happen.
I know. Statistics that I found just striking. 2.3 billion people globally actually have bladder issues, and that goes from UTI, urge, leaks, prostate health, and 2.3 billion people is basically 1/3 of our population. And if that's so common, and the only reason why we're not actively doing things to lift up our quality of life is because it being a taboo, how silly that is. So I think being able to talk about this issue with you here today is, my first big step of, just smashing taboos and allowing people to know it is preventable, it is treatable.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the interesting question that I saw on the screen just there about doing pelvic floor exercises, and that's all part of it, isn't it? It's actually raising awareness. And actually, I noticed, because I have been trialing these. Obviously, I try everything very carefully before we talk about it here. And I'll just show everybody what they look like, because they're actually a really attractive capsule. That's what it looks like. So I've been taking these morning and night. And actually, for me, it was a really good reminder every time that I took one. It was like, oh, this is for my pelvic health.
Yeah.
This is for bladder strength. So while I'm doing that, why don't I just do a few Kegel exercises? Why don't I just do my pelvic floor? Because it's kind of reminded me, rather than it getting pushed to the back of my head and I forget about it. I exercise all sorts of bits of my body, but if I'm really honest with you, I forget to do my pelvic floor. And actually, we really mustn't forget, especially as we age. It becomes even more important, doesn't it?
I know. I think it's such a good point that you bring out. It's a little reminder of I'm dedicating this minute to this part of my body. And what we see from our customers, they treat our bladder health supplement as a kickstart in their daily regime of, okay, now's the time for me to actually cut down a little bit of my coffee, which I love coffee. Cut down those
I love
bladder
coffee too. I have to have my cup of coffee in the morning, and yet we know that it can really irritate a sensitive bladder.
Exactly. So
I feel it. If I have too many cups of coffee, my bladder tells me about it.
Exactly. Same for me. If I have too many cups of tea, that also happened to me. So there's so many things that we can do to improve, that part of our body. Even there is a correct way to pee, actually.
Oh, really? A correct way to pee? I love
Yeah,
this. Tell us.
yeah. So basically, the instructions are: plant both your feet really solid on the ground. Put your elbow on your knees when you go to the toilet. That way, you're actually emptying like that, just kind of like curl like forwards. Yes, when you go to the
Ah,
toilet. So what that allows your bladder to do is like it empties it fully. So then there wouldn't be any residue in your bladder. Then it triggers you needing to go to the toilet again after 20 minutes. So that is a very, very good hack to care for your bladder. So there's so many different little
love
things
that.
that you can do.
You know, that has reminded me, I did a podcast with a pelvic health physio, women's physio, and she didn't talk about that position, but what she did say, which I think is probably very similar, is that when you've had a wee and you've emptied your bladder, so just rock forward,
Yes.
because that will then fully empty the bladder. So that's what you're saying, it's that position. And she
Mm-hmm.
said often there's a little bit of wee that gets left behind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then if you haven't drained everything out fully, that's then potentially going to leak or cause irritation or set you up, maybe for some kind of inflammation or whatever. So, oh my
Exactly.
goodness, I'm sure that everybody now who is watching this or watches up later on catch up, you're going to have to message me. You're going to have to leave a comment in the thread below as to whether you have started peeing with your elbows on your
Yeah.
knees. We're going to start a whole new craze, or just maybe I could just imagine sitting around in the evening or in the theatre or whatever, just all like this, and the women in the know will go, oh yeah, I know what you're doing.
So our
you're
in-house
making you're making
doctor,
that healthy position.
for sure, our in-house doctor, self-care doctor in this chat, she actually called this position the cowgirl position. So a lot of my community members laugh so much about this, which, just let them remember that is the posture, that's the correct etiquette for peeing. But she actually also wrote this bladder care handbook. It's a tiny handbook. It's a lot of pages, but it's really fun to read. It's free to download on our website. It talks
Brilliant.
there's so many tips about it. It talks about the anatomy of the bladder with, a watermelon size and a pear size, with before, after. Yeah, so this is a really good free resource that you can all go and download and just have a good read.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, there's some really fun chat going on here. Pen says elbow, knees, wheeze. So I think that's a very good mantra.
Please.
And yeah, a self-care doctor says here the feet firmly
On the
on
ground.
the ground,
Mm-hmm.
is also really helpful for that. Coming back to the supplements, which I'm
Sure.
really intrigued by, and I have a lot of time for specific supplements. As my community know here, I've talked, for example, to professors of ophthalmology, talking about specific carotenoids that will help with eye care and macular degeneration as we age. And I think it's really interesting that the natural kingdom gives us so many really powerful botanicals. And when you think about it, most modern drugs are extracted from
Synthetics
plants.
of the
That's,
botanicals.
yeah. I mean, they would have just been synthesized, or a little bit of it synthesized and then changed so it can be patented. But these natural ingredients, and this is a food supplement, obviously coming from the pumpkin seeds and from soy, can be so unbelievably powerful. I mean, it's simple yet effective. I think that's what's the beauty of some of these things.
They really are. They really are. And when we're researching and doing kind of the formulation, we actually have a professor at Harvard. She specialized in functional food and specialized in quantifying the science behind it. I think there's so many pharmaceutical companies out there that's doing exactly what the synthetic version of what derived from nature. But actually, when we go back to nature and go back to what really helps our body, there's so much that can read about different types of functional food that we can eat more in our daily diet, and also boosted by supplements. So yeah, I really believe in clinically proven. There needs to be human clinical trials to prove the efficacy of it. But reducing the side effects of what synthetic, I guess, medication will give us is also such an important theme within our community and within our company.
Yeah. Reducing side effects. I mean, that is something, you know, that the food supplements, you know, tend not to have side effects, which is another great benefit. And presumably these are very concentrated, so this is different from eating a handful of pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, they're very concentrated. But what's also very interesting about them is we use a patented technology to extract the pumpkin seed extract into the supplement. So they isolate all the lipids out to make sure your absorption is maximized within your gut lining. So imagine you take 45 pumpkin seeds, which is what, you know, your daily intake would be from the supplement, because there are lipids within the pumpkin seed. Actually, you can only absorb probably around 50% of the actives. So taking a supplement is really convenient way, fits into a lot of busy women's daily regime. Probably they need to go to work, they're, you know, doing so many things.
And also, you know, I am a big fan of food and eating well, but you often need to have so much. It makes it very expensive, but also you don't really know how old that food is, you know, how the sunflower seeds have been stored, what conditions they were grown in. You know, we know that soil and climate and all of that varies hugely, and that affects nutritional composition. So when, you know, when somebody says, oh, this food is rich in, you know, vitamin E, whatever, you don't know that that particular thing is, it's an average, isn't it? So, you know, the great thing about having something that's standardized is that you know exactly what you're getting. And if people are taking these, two questions for you. One is, you say on the pack morning and night. Is that really important, or could you take them both at the same time to get the daily dose?
Yeah, so as to your point, I think day and night, it just helps remind you of, you know, doing the pelvic floor exercises before going to bed. Let's drink water, you know, 3-4 hours before, so you don't wake up at night. I think that just acts as a reminder. If you lump it together and take it together, that is not a problem as well, because at the end of the day, this is a supplement. If you want it to be more convenient, that's fine too. We also actually advise our customers, if they want to see a bit of a boost in the beginning, you can take 3 supplements as a maximum to just kickstart that tangible results that you'll see earlier, and then sort of revert back to 2 after 2 weeks.
You would see a difference or notice a difference after 2 weeks?
A lot of our women see the difference in 6 weeks. Some of them see differences in about 4 weeks, but we do recommend people to take a full course, what we call 12 weeks, because this is what our clinical trials say: 12-week course, 79%, 39%.
Wow. Well, that is very encouraging. I mean, 12 weeks, 3 months, 79% improvement in daily leaks. That is, and then 39, which, you know, is nearly 40% improvement in frequency of getting up in the night. And, you know, it is such a debilitating thing having to get up in the night to wee, because you break your sleep. Once your sleep goes, we know the impact on mental health, on stress, on our immune function, so much.
Yeah.
You know, getting a good night's sleep is actually, frankly, priceless.
Totally. And there's some research being conducted to say about 45% of people who have bladder issues also have a bit of anxiety as well. And I can totally relate to why that's the case, because of loss of sleep, just constantly need to think about where to go to toilet. And I do think if you're investing in self-care, investing in something that really lifts up your quality of life, I think starting with your bladder is a really good start.
Love that. And also, you know, we are encouraging everybody to drink more water.
Yes.
And it's really important. And I know I have friends who say to me, you know, I have a real issue, you know, with weeing in the night, so I don't drink anything after like 6 o'clock in the evening. I think, oh my goodness, but you are at risk of such dehydration. You know, we need to drink little and often. But I think sometimes women, you know, if you have got a bladder issue, you're scared of flooding your body with too much water for fear that you're just going to be endlessly going to the loo.
Totally. I think drinking water is one thing. Second is like, you don't want to go very far away from your home. You don't want to go to places where, you know, you're not going to access a toilet. So it restricts your life a lot. And we all know the benefits of drinking water, and you know, your skin is more radiant, it looks more plump, and holding that back because of, you know, bladder issues, it's a shame. And I think it's high time that we look at that and say, you know, this year I'm gonna start investing into protecting and preventing, you know, this organ malfunctioning.
Well, very, very interesting, Peony. Thank you very much indeed for bringing that to life. I know that that's a subject that's going to resonate. I can see it has already really resonated, and will continue to do so. I think you're going to have many, many more members of your community there. Just to recap then, we have got a brilliant 15% off on your website, which is great. So give it a go, 12 weeks. Twice a day, and then you've got the super soft, either panty liners or something a little bit bigger everyday pads.
And we're actually also launching an underwear, a leak-proof underwear.
Leak-proof underwear! Wow.
Yes, we are actually launching that in the next 2 months. Well, we have a wait list on our website, and what that gives you is even a more modern way to care for your bladder, and it's so soft.
They look really pretty.
Made of beech wood, that is, you know, from sustainable forests, and you can kind of, you know, really reduce the number of pads and liners that you use. And for us, it's really about, you know, offering a range of options and products for people. So yeah, underwear is our next exciting product that we're launching.
I'm interested. Tell me about it quickly. What do you do? Does it have a built-in pad, or is it just padded so you then wash it, you wear it and wash it? How does it work?
Yeah, so there is a gusset that is, we kind of developed it with our supplier, and there is no pad in there, so you can wash it after use. You can wash it up to 50 times, and it lasts a lot longer than, you know, what you see out there. So more money, more value for your money. But it also just feels amazing and feels so
And you're
soft.
just wearing a pair of pants. You're not then thinking, oh, I have to stick on a kind of panty liner or something.
No, you don't need that anymore. So
there's no embarrassment if you're going to the gym, if you're changing in front of friends. You're just, you know, here's your underwear. It's in your drawer. You're not traveling with, you know, boxes of things that might, you know, give the game away if you think about it.
Exactly.
Wow.
We care a lot for the environment, and we know for the single-use plastic products that other brands do, it takes about 300 years for it to degrade. Ours are fully compostable and biodegradable, but what's better than a reusable, washable underwear? So yeah, we're trying to do our part for the environment.
Great. So you've got a wait list.
We've got a wait list.
Put my name on it.
Yes.
I'm very excited to hear about that.
Thanks.
And then I guess ultimately, you know, keep doing your pelvic floors, download the Bladder Care booklet, which is free, which has got all that information. Adopt the Cowgirl knees on
elbow knees
for wheeze. Exactly. Thank you, Pen, for that one. And take these twice a day and watch how your bladder sensitivity is lessened.
I know. And lastly, sign up to
exciting and encouraging. Thank you.
I know. Lastly, if you also want to have a bit of fun whilst talking about this very, very serious kind of topic, we also have a newsletter called The Leaky Times. We campaign about 1 in 3 women leak for taboo breakers. There's a lot of useful information in this newsletter, but we thought, you know, it is a topic that just needed some airtime. I was worried that we're not going to make it into mainstream media because of this embarrassing issue. So we printed our own newspaper.
You printed your own newspaper.
We did.
Peony, you are so inspiring.
Thank you.
You really are. You know, I think we've had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs while covering something that actually isn't a laughing matter and is no fun.
Exactly. I have a lot to learn. And I would love to learn it from, you know, our customers, our community members, our team of women. Our team sort of range from 60 years old actually to 20 years old, and I have a lot to learn from you. So I would love more opportunity that we can chat more about business, about health and wellness, and break more taboos together. But thank you so much for having me today.
Brilliant. Really, really lovely. Welcome anytime. And you know, one of the best bits about my job is connecting with fab female founders, especially the next generation, people like you who are trailblazing. So I
Thank
wish
you.
you huge success with it all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and have a lovely day, everybody. And thank you for having me again.
Real pleasure. Thanks, Peony.
Bye.
Wonderful. Bye bye. Oh my goodness, how interesting was all that? Super interesting. And it is a topic that we turn back to time and time again. I've got lots of podcasts, in fact, and I've got a new one that I'm trying to get. There's an amazing professor of urology in London, and I went and interviewed him before I came out here, and he had some absolutely fascinating information, particularly on UTIs and things like bacterial vaginosis and all the stuff that we've talked about before. So I'm hoping that I can do a little bit more about that when I get back. And I think it's just great that you've got amazing people like Peony. Wasn't she fab? Didn't we love her? What's this? Let's go. Who is this? Carol says, a friend of mine has just texted me to say that she's bought them and they really work. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. I have looked at the studies. They look sound. Certainly all the testimonials as well look very good from real women who are using them. So, and opening them up, very soft, but hopefully you'd have to use far fewer. But if you do need to use them or want to use them, then these would certainly be worth a go. So that is just about it for bladder care. A couple of little comments that have come in and things that I just wanted to share with you before I go. I'm obviously here in Italy, and much as I love Italy, the one thing that I do not love, although they love me, are the mosquitoes. And so I have, of course, brought with me my al fresco. I love this so much. And in fact, I did take a picture, which I might pop on my Instagram later. This is the one that I'm using at the moment. It is the plant power. It's called Power. I love this smell. I use it all the time. I use it actually as a perfume. We do have a Liz Loves on it, by the way. Oh, it smells so good. Anyway, I use this as an after sun, and it smells really nice, and it's very hydrating, and it's got lots of natural essential oils in it, and of course it keeps the mosquitoes away. And so I put it on from my toes to the tip of my head, and all down the back of my neck, and everywhere where the little bitey critters will get. Anyway, I was wearing a pair of trousers to go out in the evening, and I thought, well, I'll just do my lower leg, kind of up to my knees, and then, I'll just do the rest of it, because surely they're not going to bite me through the trousers. Anyway, guess what? I had no bites anywhere apart from the bit of my thigh that I did not put the al fresco cream on. So that was a real lesson to me to always apply that. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you because we do still have a Liz Loves on that. As we do with so many other great things. Michael Van Clark talking about hair in the sun. I'm using this all the time to protect my colour. This is the one that I'm using, the Lifesaver UV. But I'm going to pop a little bit more on because you can use it on dry hair, and I can see that the sun is already really coming out again. We've had a sort of a mixed day here in Umbria, but it's going to be hot again, I think, in the afternoon. I want to protect my colour. We have, just so that I can let you know, Michael Van Clark, we have 15% off with Liz Loves, and then al fresco, we have 20% off. So if the bugs bite you, I genuinely swear by it. And the other thing that I love, which I can't get enough of at the moment, is the Studio 10 bronzing powder. Yeah, you've seen me use this before, but it is just great. I can see myself getting a little bit of hot and sticky here, but it just gives you that little bit of a golden glow. And we also have, how much is off that? I think that is 20% also on Studio 10. That is just about it for today. I'm going to be back with you again live on Thursday, and we're going to be talking more skincare. We're going to be talking botanicals for the skin. I've got another fab female founder talking about a really interesting new range that has African connections, and it's something that I am super impressed by, so I want to share that with you. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today. Pop a comment below or drop a little heart if you have found it useful. If you get the Jude supplements, let me know how you get on. Really love to hear. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and thank you. Nice to see you. Thanks for your... This top is Aspiga, the ethical fashion brand Aspiga, if you wanted to know. I think we also have a Liz Loves on that, but yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love the color too. Have a great day. Bye. Bye-bye.